Hello, this is Tracy Newman from the Navigators Tarot on Facebook and Sleepy Wisdom on YouTube. If you would like a personal reading, you can always find me at sleepywisdom.com. There is a list of services there on my website, and you can also find me at the Navigators Tarot on Facebook and on Instagram as well. So we're looking just at a general energies that are sort of like happening around the world at the moment, and also too within each and every single one of us. In the last couple of weeks, there has been a lot happening, even though we can't really see it in the physical world, manifesting in the physical world. In the physical world, it appears that not much has changed, but I think with a lot of things, change begins within, and for a lot of us, internally, we've been having a lot of changes that have been occurring that can actually sometimes even cause a bit of a struggle within us. In the last couple of weeks, I've noticed that that I have come across a lot of people who are having a lot of ascension symptoms. And what I mean by this is that a lot of us are now moving from a denser energy and a denser frequency band into a higher frequency band. And so that requires a lot of integration by the physical and emotional and mental bodies. And of course, that can sometimes manifest as symptoms that physical symptoms and emotional and psychological symptoms that can appear like depression, anxiety, overwhelm, and also physical symptoms that, you know, like an inability to take a lot of artificial substances into the natural body, the natural physical body. And this natural physical body, once upon a time, found it easier in that denser framework to break down a lot of these different substances. However, now I'm finding that a lot of people, and myself included, have a more sensitive approach, or the body has a more sensitive approach to artificial stimulants, things like preservatives in wine, and also preservatives in other things as well can upset the balance in our internal bodies, and can also also infiltrate the emotional and spiritual bodies to an extent where the body can actually go through a lot of really intense experiences, like even to the point of dry retching, vomiting, you know, any sort of thing that will purge this energy or this artificial substance from the body. It will do everything it can to do that. So the body is no longer able to really take on, if while you're, you know, assimilating these newer energies that are coming in, the body is changing its vibration and changing and the frequency is changing. So our bodies are changing with it. So we just have to be a little bit more careful when we're taking in anything that may have an effect on the body in the form of drugs, alcohol, anything like that at all, even some foods that have preservatives in them. So just be a little bit more mindful and maybe be a little bit more careful. I'm only saying this to help you because I just went through a massive state last week where anything like that at all had a very detrimental effect on me. So, and I have talked to other people too who have said the same thing, that it's happened to them. So people seem to be becoming a little bit more sensitive to everything around them, even not just artificial stimuli, but also too in the form of being in spaces that are busy, that have a lot of movement, that'll have a lot of people, and can also be such a stimulant that can spark off anxiety and and a feeling of overwhelm, like, you know, that you just need to escape from. So that is actually happening as well. As people are moving away from this old earth energy, a lot of the old earth structures and the old world structures are having a not so positive effect on a lot of people. So also too, there seems to be like, there is a lot happening, even though we can't see it. There is so much happening energetically. It's like there's a lot of, as I said, artificial stimuli, but also too, a lot of people are really starting to move into these higher frequencies and these high vibrating energies. And so a lot of the older energies they have no time for anymore and are moving completely away from those older energies. The outer structures, of course, continue to maintain their equilibrium. However, it's not going to last for too much longer. The cards here are saying that as much as the darkness on this earth structure hold on, the more they hold on, the more that the light comes in and just tries to wrench everything out of their grip so that they are left with nothing. The one thing that's coming out here, like a lot of the old traditions are also starting to be, they're starting to crumble and fall. So there's a lot, so as within, so without. So of course, as we're going through our changes, everything in the world is changing as well. It's just that we can't, it doesn't appear that way. And but I think what we will find is that as we move away from those energies and from that old world structure, the new will become something that is a lot more tangible. At the moment, we can't see it, and we can feel that we're moving into those newer energies, but we can't really see the possibility of what can actually be, even though we can feel it within ourselves as our bodies are changing and shifting. But what I also see is too, that the old Cabal structures, the old world systems, have been infiltrated by another force that is far greater than they are. And the thing is, what I'm finding and what I'm seeing here is, this is the card of the Chariot. And the Chariot is about moving forward. But what I see here is this star, and it has been standing out to me a lot. And as I look at that star, I realize that, and I keep getting the message, the Star of David. So even though it appears that, it would appear that a lot of the Christian values and a lot of the old traditional values are not in place, what's actually happening is that the old fundamental beliefs in all of those, and all of the religions and traditional ways of looking at things on the spiritual level are actually being removed, because a lot of it was infiltrated by the darker forces. A lot of the religions were infiltrated by the darker forces, as has the Christianity and a lot of the New Age movement as well, always has been infiltrated by the darker forces. But this year is the year for the reclamation of the land for Jesus Christ, but also too, it is about the recalibration of the Sophianic bodies as well. So that is the old god and goddess, the original god and goddess that first abounded on the earth before the darkness came, before the fall happened. So because of that, those energies have been reverted. All inversions are at this point in time being reverted back to the original energies. So that, and we're starting to see that and feel that. And if you will also notice that you're becoming a lot more aware of your surroundings and your environment. And you're starting to see the actual difference between the light and the dark in such a way. And also you'll notice the inversions in a lot of the rules, regulations, documentation. You'll start to see where our belief structures have been manipulated to such an extent by using inversions, by using words in such a way that manipulate how we see things. And so what we've always been seeing in the last, last 150 years to 250 years has not been the truth. And when you start to read documents that are supposedly, enacted by the law or enacted by Parliament, you will begin to see just how, through their wording, how they have inverted certain phrases and certain sentences so that it appears that, that what they are suggesting is somehow morally okay, when in actual fact you are being screwed over big time. We all are. And our moral, ethical way of being within ourselves has been manipulated to such an extent that we cannot even see the wood for the trees. They are so clever in the way that they have inverted absolutely everything. And so what is happening now is, what I'm noticing is, through these energy upgrades that we are all starting to receive just in the last few weeks. I mean, we've had to purge, we've become a lot more sensitive to things. So now that this is happening within us, we're also beginning to see the truth where the lies have been told. And we're now starting to see the truth of the matter. And we're starting to see beyond the manipulations, beyond the veil, beyond the illusions that they have tried to place upon us. They have pulled the curtain over our eyes for so long, and we have bought it. We have bought it because we have been so heavily manipulated and indoctrinated. But now, because the energies are such that it has created an effect within us that is now starting to purge out those old energies and starting to purge out the old untruths, the lies, the falsities, the illusions. And we are starting to actually begin to see exactly how we've been manipulated. And so this is what I'm actually noticing over the last week. So even though it was very intense this last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of people, some come to me and say, I'm not feeling right, I'm not feeling connected, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And it is true, a lot of us who are on this ascension journey have been feeling that way. But it is because it is very necessary, because we've had to purge out these old energies, these old ways of looking at things. And we're beginning to see, because once upon a time, we believed everything that we had been told from the outside world, never listening to what was going on inside of us. We were never taught to go within and listen to our bodies and listen to our intuition. We were always taught that if you hear it on the news, then it must be true. If you hear it, if you see it in the paper, then it must be true. If you look at a peer-reviewed paper, then it must be true. What we haven't actually been told is that there are reasons why that these things, that the media and the peer-reviewed studies have all said the same thing, because there is a higher force, there is a force that has been, not a higher force, but a force that has been behind this to manipulate and keep us in such a way that we never question anything. And that we never ask ourselves whether it is true or not. We never have been taught to go within and ask ourselves, is this a true statement? Does it resonate with me? And also giving our genius over to somebody else and thinking that somebody else knows better than us. And of course, it is never, ever, ever the case. You know you more than anybody else. So it seems to me that right now, a lot of us, even though we're experiencing these symptoms, They are creating a space so that we can begin to really understand who we are in this new world structure that is coming. And also to, and even though I'm saying it is coming, it is actually here now. It's just that until we have our frequencies join up and with the frequencies that are sort of everywhere at the moment, that are changing. So until we become into alignment with those frequencies, we will feel discomfort and feel like we're a little bit off. But just recognize that that is happening for a reason, and that is happening because we are removing all of those denser frequencies, those denser vibrations. Our vibration is now changing so that it will then match with and become in alignment with the changing energies and vibrations that are here now. So that's the energies that are going on at the moment. Just be mindful that you may need some time out to nurture and care for yourself, because those feminine energies of nurturing and caring are really, really significant at this time. For all of us, we really need to hone into those feminine energies, because the feminine energies are what will take us into the new earth energies, and because we are leaving a lot of the toxic 3D illusionary world behind us. So so just take care of yourself this week. We've done a lot. Congratulate yourself on being where you are, and also recognize that if you see something or hear something or read something that does not resonate as truth within yourself, or somehow feels a bit off, then it is, okay? So always become your own avatar and be your own avatar, and recognize that Christ is within each and every single one of us. The 144,000, of course, is about, mentioned in the Bible, is about the coded grail line that is within each and every single one of us who belong to that line, which is most of the people on the earth at this time, especially those who are starseeds, or who, light workers, however you may describe yourself. If you have a deeper knowledge within yourself about who you are and your lineage of where you come from, whether it be out in the stars or wherever, but you have an awareness within you, then you are who I am speaking to. You will be going through a lot of these awakening symptoms in the next a few months to the rest of this year, and it will be an ongoing thing. But just recognize that you're making good headway, and all of us are right where we are meant to be right now. So that's my energy report for this week. Namaste.